Hey everyone, my name's Liza. I'm a third year medical student studying in the UK, and today I want to share with you something that completely changed the way I studied in second year and that kept me organized and completely on top of all my work. I was stress-free in second year because of this. You probably already guessed by the title, but that is Notion. Yeah, if you clicked on this video, you probably already know what Notion is, but for those of you that don't, Notion is an all-in-one workspace that allows you to make notes, plan your schedule, and basically organize your entire life all in one place. Today, I'm giving you a tour of my simple yet effective Notion dashboard that kept me completely on top of my work throughout second year and kept my second year stress-free, guys. Even if I was behind, I was still stress-free because I knew Notion had me. Like, I knew everything was still organized in the background. All my systems were still in check. So if I was to come back and catch up, I knew exactly where I needed to go and what I needed to do. And tasks no longer looks like a massive mountain that I had to climb. But without further ado, let's get into the tour. Right, so when I open up Notion, this is the first thing I see. This is where I keep track of pretty much everything and not just medical school. So I use Notion for other things as well. I'm not going to be going into detail about this today. I'm just going to be focusing on my medical school dashboard. One, because this actually needs a bit of updating. I don't use absolutely everything that you can see here. If you want to see a tour of how I organize my whole life and not just medical school, then like this video and leave a comment down below and I'll definitely make a video on that. Also, I originally set up this dashboard using a template from a YouTuber when I was learning how to use Notion. I tweaked her template to kind of suit my lifestyle and to suit like my kind of the theme I wanted to go for. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but I'll find her video and link it down below. So if you're interested in making a template just like this, you can go watch her video. It's really useful. So up here, I just have this. So this is Liza's live. I have this little cloud emoji. I thought it was pretty cute. And then I've got this little quote that I believe I got from the book Atomic Habits. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. The whole theme of my Notion is system. There's systems that are going to lead me to my goals in the future. So I just thought this was a nice quote to have. So every time I open up my Notion, I see this, I'm reminded I need to make sure my systems are in order to reach my goals. But anyways, so these are the different sections in my life dashboard. Like I said, I'm not going to go into it, so let's just click into year 2. I am in my third year. I do have a third year Notion dashboard, but right now I'm not using it as much as I did in second year because I am in my clinical year and it's kind of different. So the way I keep track of everything in third year is a little bit different to how I keep track of things in second year. I will make a separate video on that. So I just click here and it takes me to my second year dashboard. I have my title, I have this little emoji with like a heart and a kind of like a monitor thing. I thought that was pretty cute. I have like this little link block here, and basically if I click any of these, it's going to take me to different things. So this takes me back to my homepage actually, and if I just go back, this takes me to hymns year 2. So I have this on like different pages on my dashboard. So like for example, if I go onto YouTube, you can even see in the little pop-up there that I have the linked block that has like links to different pages in my dashboard. I just thought it'd be easier to get around my Notion instead of having to go back and then click back into things. But yeah, so this links to my goals page, and then this links to my home page. So those are like the 3 things I'm always switching between. Now if we scroll down into my dashboard, I've got this block over here which is just quick links. It has links to important information in medical schools. So I have my term date, so if I click this, it's going to take me to Blackboard, which has all the term dates in the year. My Google Drive is where I keep my notes. I don't actually make notes on Notion. I find it just really like annoying and kind of clunky. I actually make my notes separately on Google Docs. Again, if you want to see a video about how I make my notes in medical school and how I actually study, make sure you comment down below and I will definitely make one. I have a link to Blackboard. Blackboard is what our medical school uses to like give us recordings of lectures and any updates and things like that. And then Open Campus is what's used to record things that go on our portfolio. Our portfolio has things like reflections, pretty much just reflections in second year. All of that is just in one place, ready for me to click whenever I need to check anything. These all have databases in them, so I'll go into that in a minute. But basically, if I click in lectures, for example, this is like a massive database of all the lectures. Again, I don't take my notes on Notion, so this doesn't have notes in it. So if I click this, there's nothing in it. I solely just use Notion to keep track of what I'm doing. So it's more of a tracker than a note-taking system for me. So that database is linked to like this main calendar, like this master calendar. All of these little tables here that you see, they're all part of the same database and they all kind of link together. I can make a video explaining how these databases work and how to actually make one. I won't go into too much detail here because that would just make the video too long. So each of these have little databases. So if I click on lectures again, this shows every single one of my lectures, the lecture type. So we have 4 themes, I think, in medical schools, in my medical school. So ALS, Applied Life Sciences, HNS, Health and Society. There's Clinical Skills Reasoning. Actually, I think it's 3. Yeah. So I grouped it like that because the way our exams are is we usually have 2 ALS papers and 1 HNS paper. I just thought it was easier in terms of like revision. It's also grouped like that in my Google Drive as well, where I keep my notes. So, and then I have the status. So if I haven't done it, it will say not started, in progress, and done. And then I have the block and the week. The way we kind of worked in first and second year was through weeks. So our first block 9 in second year had 6 weeks. So that's why you've got week 6 here. And some blocks only had like 4 weeks and so and so. And then I've just got a tick here where the my Anki flashcards for this lecture has been done. As you can see, I pretty much did all of it apart from a few. Oops. But yeah. And then it's pretty much the same in all these other boards. PBL is the same. So I go to a PBL based medical school. That's the learning style. So every week we have like 2 cases, like made up patients, and we have a bunch of learning outcomes we have to like cover. So I just track that I've done the work for PBL on Notion as well, and whether I've made Anki flashcards from like relevant information that I did. Anyways, if I go back to the main page, I've got my clinical skills. So all my examinations I have in one place here. So clinical skills basically holds all my examinations. This is a separate database from the main one that has all my lectures, PBL, any other tasks. Clinical examinations is its own database. I've like organized it in these little like cards. And as you can see, I have all the examinations I learned in my first and second year. So abdominal exam, cardiovascular, and if you click into them, they pretty much all look the same. It says year 1 because that's when we learned the examination. And it just has all the information, how to do it. It's pretty simplified as well, so it's just good for when I quickly want to go over how to do an examination. If I go onto the home page again, and if we go onto pharmacology, this is like a massive table. I'm pretty sure this is a separate database to the main one that has all my lectures and PBL and tasks and things to do. But this is like just a massive table of all the medication. Oh, it's because I have a filter on. I was thinking, did I only do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? I thought I only did 8 drugs for the whole year, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But anyways, yeah, it's set to 1 block. So if I unclick that, let's scroll back up to the top. So yeah, I have this massive database of all the drugs. It has all the information about them. This is the only place where I take notes. Well, notes. It's just like, it has all the information about the drugs. So mechanism of action, main indication, contraindication, side effects, and then if there's any drugs that you can't use the medication with, and then whether I put it on Anki basically. So yeah, as you can see, like, it's a massive table. But I just thought it'd be easier to have it all on Notion because I can easily just like, if I want to go over the drugs for a single block, I can just filter it here. Like say I wanted to do block 10, I could just click block 10 and all my block 10 drugs would come up. So that's my pharmacology page. My revision page, I kind of ended up abandoning in the end. It was supposed to track how I was revising and like when I was reviewing everything, but it just got too tedious, so I ended up abandoning it, so I won't go into this. Then I have my task archive. So basically when I click complete for a task, this is where it goes. It's basically just absolutely everything I've ever made a task on this database. So it's just easy if I've accidentally discarded something or I accidentally clicked something as done when it wasn't, I can just come back here and check. Just thought that'd be useful to have. So upcoming exams, important dates and deadlines. If I make a new thingy, like I don't know, year 2 exam results, release, and I say, like say my results are coming out next Tuesday. Oh, what the heck? Okay. What? Okay, so there seems to be a bug, but due date, start date is on or after today. Yeah, that I don't know what's going on. This was working perfectly fine, but what I wanted to show was that if I go here, the task type is any formatives, important dates, essays, exams. It will all show up at the top here, so I can see if something important is coming up. I'm not sure why that isn't working. That's really annoying me now. Where date due is on or after today. Okay, so the reason why it wasn't working is because this particular table is filtered to only include dates within 1 month from now. When I added a task directly to the table, it automatically makes the date of that task 1 month from now. I didn't realize this. I thought it made the due date of the task today. So I thought it was February 4th. But really it set it to March 4th. So when I changed it to 1 week from now, it changed it to March 11th instead of February 11th. So March 11th is outside of 1 month from now, which is why it disappeared from the table. I hope this makes sense. Have this week, like I said, my medical school kind of worked on a weekly basis. So we had lectures 1 day a week, then we had 2 PBL cases for that week, and then we had our pharmacology for that week to do, and we had anatomy that week. It all just followed like a theme of the week. For example, the theme of the week could be like AKI or something. We have 2 patient cases probably with AKI. Pharmacology for that week would be drugs to do with AKI. The lectures would all be surrounding the kidneys and AKI, and then maybe our anatomy session for that week would be on the kidneys. So my lectures for the current week that I'm on will just show up here. I fill this out every single week. I think my lecture day, I think our week started on a Friday, which was weird last year, and then our lectures were on a Monday. I can't remember, but it started in the middle of the week. Say our week started on Friday, I would do all of this on Thursday. I would go on Blackboard, find the lectures for the week and write them out here with the lecture type, the status, and yeah. So that would all be ready for the next week. And then if we scroll down, there's an inbox here. So this is linked to my main page. Anything I write in my main page will show up here. So say I heard about something that I hadn't put in my to-do list. I could quickly open up Notion and type, for example, here I put biopractical, and it would show up on my year 2 page. So if I'm scrolling on my year 2 page, I would see it and be reminded that I have to do it. On the side here, you can see my placement information. I'm gonna blank this out because you don't need to see where exactly I was. I had primary care and secondary care, and I just had important contacts and who my tutors were. Then this is my master calendar. This had everything. Let me go back to when I was actually in second year. So November 2023, you can see the themes like every single week. So I had PBL, 2 PBL tasks, and then pharmacology for this week. I put when they were due. So PBL was on Tuesday. We'd have our first PBL session on Friday and our second one, our feedback session, on Tuesday. So that's when I would put my PBL tasks to be due. So these are just basically all the things I need to get done, and they will just order my master calendar here. So I could just quickly have a look and see everything. And look, as you can see, important dates, that would have showed up. So I would have seen that up there. If this was working, I would show you, but yeah. Let's go to today. And say I had to make up a patient, Thomas Martin. And this is for PBL, so this is a PBL case. Let's say we're on block 12, we're on week 4. It's due next week, Tuesday. If that should show up, yeah. So that would show up next week. And then, yeah, so it shows up in upcoming tasks because it's due within a week. If I put anything after this, so if I put it on the 12th, it would disappear. Anything that's due within a week would show up on upcoming tasks. So I can also glance and see that, oh, okay, I need to start thinking about doing this because I've got under a week to do it. And then pending tasks, and you might have noticed my lectures don't show up in my calendar because I don't have a specific due date for my lectures. What happens is if these lectures aren't done, so if I change this to in progress or I change this one to not started, it will show up in my pending tasks. It's things that I need to get done that don't have a due date. And then overdue is anything that's overdue. So say I was supposed to do this PBL work yesterday and I hadn't done it. It would show up in overdue. I haven't done it, so I need to do it. And I think that is it for my dashboard. So as you can see, it's actually pretty simplistic. There's not too much going on. I don't see like any massive things floating around, like bold bright pictures going on. It's not very distracting, and I feel like that's the best way to make a Notion dashboard or a Notion tracker. When I first started getting into Notion, I wanted it to make it really pretty, really aesthetic. I wanted it to have like some moving pictures and things like that, and I feel like if you get caught up in that, that's when Notion becomes really difficult to use, because when you can't figure out how to do something, you start getting stressed out and then you just give up and you don't want to use Notion again. In my opinion, it still looks aesthetic, which is good. So it's simple yet aesthetic, and there's not too much going on, which is perfect for me. I don't feel stressed looking at my Notion dashboard, which is what I wanted. This setup really helped me to stay on top of everything in second year in terms of revision, notes, any assignments I had throughout the whole year. Like, I literally did not deviate from it at all. Honestly, I don't think I would have survived second year without it, because first year was a mess. Notion is actually just like, everyone should get a Notion. Like, if you don't have Notion, you need to get it today. If you want to see how I'm organizing myself in my clinical year, or how to actually set up a Notion board step by step, then please comment down below. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.